What is going on, guys and gals? My name is Bryson from BCNS Games and welcome you all to OverWatch Overview, BCNS's very own series where we look at all of the heroes of the Overwatch universe, going through their lore, their abilities, their ultimates, and then general tips on their playstyle. Now in this video, we'll be going through everybody's favorite knight in shining armor, Reinhardt. Reinhardt Wilhelm, or more commonly just known as Reinhardt. Reinhardt styles himself as a sort of champion of a bygone era. Seeing himself as more of a modern-day knight, Reinhardt lives by the knightly codes of valor, justice, and courage. At the very start of the Omnic Crisis, this literal modern-day knight in shining armor was one of the 6 initial strike team members to be designed and registered into the program to act as a sort of spearhead to combat the Omnic forces. Donned in his iconic Crusader armor, Reinhardt became known as a huge figurehead for the Overwatch program, being one of its more renowned and more outspoken members. Reinhardt's unique set of ethics and larger-than-life personality easily earned him the admiration of his peers and his superiors alike. Never afraid to speak his mind, he was one of Overwatch's most vocal supporters, yet when necessary, one of its harshest critics, providing a constant reminder to everyone in the Overwatch program that the Overwatch was meant to be used as a force for good rather than a force for oppression. Reinhardt got along very well with another member of the original 6, Torbjorn, who was actually the member who was designed to maintain and repair his Crusader armor. Now, having served into his late 50s, Reinhardt was slowly being faced with mandatory retirement from combat, as was regulations for the Overwatch program. Fearing that his days of seeking honor and glory were coming to an end, Reinhardt began to fear for the Overwatch program as a whole, as corruptions and conspiracies began to take root and surround the entirety of the Overwatch program. Reinhardt was forced to only sit back and watch as the cause that he dedicated his entire life to was slowly falling apart from the inside out and eventually disappeared into disgrace. Now, while Overwatch did fall in the ruin, Reinhardt was not content to sit by and let the entire world fall into disorder. Once again taking up his Crusader armor, Reinhardt vowed to fight just like the knights of old, promising to fight for justice all across the world in order to defend the innocents and winning the hearts and minds with the promise that there would come a better tomorrow. In this new quest, he was accompanied by his new assistant, Bridget, who helped maintain his armor and at one point would get to numerous scraps as seen in the comic Dragon Slayer. Now, taking a look into Reinhardt's abilities, to start off with, we have the iconic weapon itself, the Rocket Hammer. Pressing the firing button will cause Reinhardt to swing the hammer, dealing an amount of damage to a cone in front of Reinhardt. The damage from the hammer itself is not that significant, only doing 75 amounts of damage, but something unique about Reinhardt's melee is the fact that it is the longest reaching melee in the entire game. This is sort of equalized by the fact that Reinhardt himself has no sort of quick melee like every other hero in the game, meaning that Reinhardt's battle style is basically one-sided. He swings his hammer, and you get out of his way, or you get moved. Now, Reinhardt's next ability is the Barrier Field, and is usually the main reason you'll see someone play Reinhardt. The Barrier Field is a powerful rectangle barrier that Reinhardt carries like a shield that blocks most projectiles that try to pass through it. The barrier is activated by pressing and holding down the secondary firing button. Now, the barrier itself actually has its own separate health pool separate from Reinhardt's initial health. Now, after taking so much damage, if the shield's health does reach 0, the shield will collapse. Yet all Reinhardt has to do is regenerate the barrier is allow a few seconds of not activating this ability, allowing the barrier to completely recharge, and then you and your team can get back to pushing. Though do be careful because Reinhardt's shield will not block all attacks. Any kind of melee attack will easily pass through Reinhardt's shield, and some channel attacks including Winston's Tesla Cannon, Symmetra's Photon Projector Beam, Reinhardt's Firing Strike, Symmetra's Photon Orbs, Hanzo's Dragon Strike ult, and Junkrat's Riptire Ultimate. All these abilities will easily pass through Reinhardt's shield, so don't be caught with your pants down, or in this case, your shield up, expecting to block this ability and end up still dying. Now, getting to Reinhardt's only ranged ability, we have Fire Strike. When activated, Reinhardt will hurl a flaming projectile towards the enemy that deals 100 points in damage to any enemy it hits. This projectile passes through enemy barriers and enemy bodies, meaning that one single projectile can hit multiple opponents. The projectile itself will not stop until it eventually hits a solid surface, so theoretically, if you're good enough, you may be able to rack up that kill cam where you pull off a Reinhardt snipe across the map. Suck one, Widowmaker. Now, Reinhardt's last ability, Charge, is my favorite ability in his entire kit. When activated, Reinhardt will use his rocket boosters on the back of his armor to propel himself forward tremendously fast. While being boosted forward, Reinhardt is not able to change his direction, only being able to slightly adjust his course. Now, Reinhardt's charge either stops after a period of time or whenever he collides with an object or a surface, whichever comes first. Though the first enemy that Reinhardt collides with during his charge will be taken for a little bit of a ride. The enemy will be pinned and Reinhardt will take them along for the ride and slamming them into the first wall he comes across, or if no wall is hit, eventually they'll just be let go. Though if you do manage to somehow pin the enemy and then slam them against the wall, it will do a tremendous amount of damage. 50 points once you make the initial contact with the enemy hero, and then 300 points if you manage to slam them into any kind of wall. Not only that, once you hit them against the wall, if you still haven't managed to kill the hero, it will stun them for a brief moment, allowing you to get a couple swings in before they even have a chance to try to fight back against you. Now finishing up, we have Reinhardt's Haymaker ability, his ultimate Earth Shatter. Reinhardt's ultimate ability when activated, Reinhardt slams his hammer into the ground, creating a cone of force that damages and stuns any enemies who are hit by it. This ability respects the line of sight, so anyone Reinhardt can see at the time of activating the ability will be affected. Meaning that even if an enemy is right in front of you, but a thin wall separating you, they will not be affected by the ability. So often, just time your abilities and don't expect to catch someone off guard by stunning them through a wall. Now while this ultimate only does a meager amount of 50 points of damage, the big thing about this ability is the fact that once any enemies who are hit by Earth Shatter are completely stunned, this leaves them unable to do any kind of action, leaving them completely open to you and the rest of your team to stack up a couple easy kills. Now that we've taken a look at Reinhardt's abilities, let's take a look at some general strategies that help you be able to maximize any time you're out there playing as the man himself, Reinhardt. Now while Reinhardt is incredibly hardy and able to absorb a mass amount of damage, stacking up to 500 points in health, he does suffer from the fact that he's restricted to only melee attacks. As a result, Rienhardt works best as a team player, staying in front of your team, allowing you to put up your barrier and absorb most of the incoming damage, allowing the rest of your team to dish out any of the necessary damage and stack up as many kills. As sad as it might say, playing the Knight in Shining Armor himself, you may not be getting the highest kill cam on the entire team, but you will hands down be playing the most important role by being the shield that everyone can follow behind. Now a good combo strategy usually seen with Reinhardt is when he's matched up with other heroes such as Bastion or Torbjorn. Since Bastion and Torbjorn are both champions that rely on turrets and stationary positioning, they are easily subjected to enemies that are able to snipe them or get behind them. Reinhardt's shield ability and tanky status allows him to be the impenetrable wall they can hide behind, or if they need be, the incredible iron bodyguard to protect them. Now most advice that I've given so far is to try to encourage you to stay out of any kind of heavy combat, allowing your team to do the damage for you while you sit back and basically be a giant shield. Though let's say you do get into the shit and you need to find some way to be able to take down an enemy, here are some quick tips to be able to stack your combos fast enough to make sure you can do more damage than you can take. Now the Fire Strike ability when activated does do a decent amount of damage, but it also can be used as a melee reset. Reinhardt can fire a strike to animate cancel his rocket hammer swing, and as soon as the hammer impacts the enemy, use Fire Strike to deal that fast burst damage on the target. This is useful against evasive enemies like Tracer, where you may only have a limited amount of opportunity to hit them before they dash off or use that god-awful annoying rewind ability. Another tip when using Reinhardt's ability is actually being careful when you use Reinhardt's ultimate itself, Earth Shatter. I did briefly mention this before, but Earth Shatter's ability does not affect any enemies Reinhardt cannot see within his line of sight. Meaning don't expect to use Earth Shatter to be able to stun an enemy that you know is on the other side of the wall, expecting it to stun them and get the drop on them. You'll just look stupid and have a wasted ultimate for nothing. Now my final tip for Reinhardt is actually a combo most commonly used to be able to stack all of Reinhardt's abilities in quick succession to be able to get the most out of everything. A common Earth Shatter combo is usually followed up by a Fire Strike with a Rocket Hammer attack, and to finish them off, a Charge. This means once hit by Earth Shatter, they will be completely stunned. Fire Strike to completely hit them with what damage you'll be able to use. Rocket Hammer for the quick melee, and before they're able to stand it from the quick Earth Shatter stun, a Charge to complete them, take them away from any kind of enemy teammates. If done correctly, this ability should not kill, or if not kill, completely get damn well close to killing any other hero on the map. Though it does come with its own set of risks, because while you're stacking all of these combos, any enemy heroes not stunned by your Earth Shattering ability will be coming after the giant tank they see, trying to beat up on their teammates. Well, that's going to wrap it up for my guide into Reinhardt, guys. I hope you pulled something away from this guide. If anything, know that Reinhardt is the best damn tank of the game. Now, if you have any kind of different opinions on what is the best way to play Reinhardt yourself, go ahead and let us know in the comment box below. And more importantly, if you have any kind of awesome play of the games with Reinhardt, please go ahead and send them to us in the comment box below. There will be an email, and from there, we will feature your play of the game in the next Overwatch video. And if that isn't motivation enough to send in your clips, we will also be giving away a mini Winston figure to what we believe is the best play of the game with Reinhardt. Now, if you want to see more Overwatch videos or check out some of the other Overwatch overview guides we have out, go ahead and check us out at the BCNS homepage. But until next time, my name is Bryson from BCNS Games, and I hope to see you all again in our next Overwatch overview video, and also to see you all out there in the Overwatch universe kicking some ass as Reinhardt.